Hey guys, Mars here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so, yes, you are seeing this correctly. It has finally happened after all those jokes about like the sync and Global's inability to post the EZA translations and us having to wait for someone to translate them for us. Shout out to Minato, Warrior can now sleep, as Jiren would say. But they did it, right? They posted the Super Saiyan 2 transforming EZAs last time, the Ink Goku and Tech Majin Vegeta. They posted them on the global Twitter, but it was like the next day. It was like 25 hours later or something. Whereas today, we were shocked to see, I even put a poll in the stream, which was very much going the opposite direction, but they posted the details for both characters at the same time on both versions. So obviously, we can now assume going forwards that this is going to be the case all the time. So this is super good. Obviously, it means that, especially for getting the news out, like, you know, we can let you guys know straight away. Because I know a bunch of you out there don't use Twitter. But yeah, they have actually posted the details straight away. So I'm going to get up the characters pre-EZA details on my phone here, just so I can have a little bit of a cross-reference. But we are indeed getting, as we suspected, the EZAs for physical Super Saiyan 2 to Super Saiyan 3 Goku and then Kid Buu STR. So we are going to go through the EZA details here in English, proper Dokkan terminology and everything. You love to see it. So Goku obviously was a Battle of Fate leader before. His leader skill is now a full 170. I think he only had HP 130 before, but now he's a full 170 lead for Battle of Fate. His passive is Ki +2, attack and defense 200%, additional attack and defense 200% when performing a super attack, which is a pretty big buff. Launches an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super. He has a great chance to crit, and then he gets an additional 2 Ki, defense 200%, and guards all attacks when HP is 77% or more. So I mean, that's really good. Obviously, if you're on lower HP, a little bit more risky, but yeah, full HP or 77% or more HP, loads of extra defense and guard, and then that 200% after supering, that's going to be a significant amount. So post super, when this guy's at 77% or more HP, he should be tanking relatively well. Relatively high raw defense and then guard. I mean, he's not going to be tanking the hardest hitting super attacks in the world, but definitely still very solid. And then his super attack is greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, immense damage, and a high chance to stun. So it was only normal attack raise before, and it was a medium chance to stun. So a little bit of an upgrade on all of his things there. But then, of course, the most important thing is his transformation. Now, are they going to show the condition? Because, I mean, the condition won't change, right? Because it's an active skill. HP is 77% or less starting from the 3rd turn. But we can see the Super Saiyan 3 image here. Yeah, they don't show it, but like I said, there is, until they do some sort of proper like game update, it can't change anyway. So Super Saiyan 3 Goku, his passive is Ki +3 and attack and defense 300%. Then he gets an additional 200% when performing a super. Bear in mind, like, this guy could hit really hard like on release, and he was only getting 50% when performing a super. Now he's getting 200%. So he launches 2 additional attacks, each of which has a high chance to become a super. So they've increased them from medium to high, which is good. Guards all attacks for 1 turn from the entry turn. Then he gets an additional Ki 3, attack 100% and defense 200% when attacking. And great chance of performing a crit for 6 turns from his entry turn. Damn. So 200% extra defense when attacking for the first 6 turns. Plus the other buff, and then obviously his super attack effect. So he's going to have very good raw defense. He gets an additional 50% attack when attacking, and a high chance to crit from the 7th turn. So basically 7 turns after you transform, he drops off pretty massively in his like defensive capability. But he does have chance to dodge 5% up to 25%, and reduce damage received 5% up to 25% with each super attack performed. Chance to dodge +5% and damage reduction 5% with each turn passed. That's interesting. So that's actually quite good. So like you get a couple of supers off on the first turn, then you get to the next turn, you've probably already got at that point, you know, at least 15 to 20% dodge and damage reduction. I'm pretty sure like the best build for this guy when he came out was pretty much full dodge anyway. So now with all that crit chance and the extra dodge that he's going to have built in, that's going to be very, very good. So yeah, I can see this guy is going to be hitting really hard. His post super defense is going to be pretty good, like pretty good raw number, because he gets to 200% on super. Obviously his super attack effect is the massively raise attack and greatly raise defense for 1 turn. So with the massively raise on his the greatly raise on the defense, he is going to have very, very good raw defense after supering. He's not going to be a unit that tanks super attacks, but then he never was. So the damage reduction is going to build up. I mean, after 5 turns, which is a lot, but after he's super attacked 5 times, and it's been 5 turns, he's going to have 50% damage reduction, which is good. Especially if his defense is getting up to like well over 1 million, close to 2. He's still going to be tanking like most things relatively well. So yeah, he's obviously gets that big buff for 7 turns after you transform. I mean, events don't go on super long, like much longer than that at the moment anyway. So I think that's perfectly fine. So yeah, he seems very, very good. Dodge probably still the best build. He's got a bunch of built-in crit. He has the additionals to have a high chance to become a super. So he's going to do 3 attacks every turn guaranteed anyway. So obviously he does want a bit of additional. And then that's going to proc. I think mine, I'm looking at mine now. Mine has like 14 additional, 6 crit and 17 dodge. So that seems pretty good. So yeah, Goku seems good. Going to do a lot of damage. Decent raw defense and can build up dodge and damage reduction. So seems very, very solid. And then we have the Kid Buu. So Kid Buu, Battle of Fate or Majin Buu Saga, full 3 key 170. His passive is key 3, attack and defense 250%. So pretty good like starting stats here. I think it was like 180 before. He gets an additional 40% with each attack performed, up to 160. Which was 30, but that means once he's fully built up, then that's what, 410% attack and defense. Launches an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super, high chance to crit, reduces damage received by 20%, then he gets an additional attack and defense 40% up to 120, and an additional damage reduction of 10% up to 30 per Majin Power or Majin Buu Saga ally on the team, depending on which category has the more members. So I mean, with the teams that you're going to run him on, you could kind of get that for free, like on his teams, right? Like if you're running him on the Evil Buu team, I say Evil Buu, but like Extreme Buu team, or just Majin Buu Saga in general, that means he's going to have 50% damage reduction and an extra 120% stats. Then he gets an additional 100% defense and an additional damage reduction of 20% before he receives an attack 6 times. Okay, that's interesting. So on that Buu team, before he gets hit 6 times, he has 70% damage reduction, recovers 20% HP at the end of the turn, nullifies unarmed super attacks, for 3 turns from his entry turn. Oh, it's guaranteed for 3 turns, and then it's a great chance starting from the 4th turn. That's cool. So it's a guaranteed nullification for the first 3 turns. I mean, that seems really, really good. Because, like, let's say, for example, an event like Goku and Frieza, the rotation locking can obviously be a massive pain. But imagine if, like, you can keep this guy away from being hit 6 times before you get to Goku and Frieza, and then you put him in slot 1, and then he's going to have 70% damage reduction. He's going to have all these stats, because remember, once he's performed 3 attacks, and he has the 160 extra, then you have like 3 Buu Saga allies. That's another, what, that's 280 on top of the 250. So he's going to have 530% attack and defense with the extra 100% defense and 20% damage reduction before he's been hit 6 times. So he potentially is going to have the defense plus that damage reduction to just tank Goku and Frieza in slot 1, as long as he hasn't been hit 6 times already. And then again, obviously they don't show the active skill information, but his active skill can be activated when there's a Buu Saga enemy, or after he's received an attack 6 times, he gets a permanent 20% attack and defense. So unfortunately, that means you can't actually get his damage reduction. Like, you can't get his active skill while you still have his full passive active, because it's before he receives an attack 6 times. So once you've received the 6th attack, then when you go into the next turn, you lose that extra 100% defense and 20% damage reduction, but then he gets his active skill, which is 20% permanent attack and defense buff, but that's multiplicative. So if you've built up all the rest of his passive at that point, and he's got the, what did we say it was, like 530%, then when you throw out that active skill for him, that's going to give him a massive boost, and he's still going to have 50% damage reduction. And then one of the things I talked about in a video when we talked about these guys potentially getting an EZA, someone did post the stats, because the EZAs have a like standard thing you can run them through, like, because the character's gaining an extra 20 levels, we know what their stats are going to be. This guy ends up being like the 2nd highest HP unit in the game. So that's even more HP on the Buu team, which is already a team that has a decent amount of HP, but has like tons of healing built into the team. And I mean, this guy is healing 20% HP at the end of the turn in which he receives an attack anyway. So if that team starts getting up to like 800k HP, as long as he gets hit once, which most of the time he's going to be tanking for double digits, he's then healing you almost 200k at like the end of the turn, which is going to be pretty good. So yeah, this guy seems actually crazy. Before he gets hit 6 times, he's going to be tanking like crazy. His passive that builds up, see, he launches an additional attack guaranteed, so even if it's not a super, in the first turn you're guaranteed to get 2 attacks with him. You only need him to get that additional from the hidden potential, and then that extra 140 that he gets is fully built up straight away, or 160 is fully built up straight away. So he's going to be tanking really, really well. And then yeah, after you've taken 6 hits, he loses some of that damage reduction and a little bit of the defense, but then you can use the active skill. Now, of course, if there's a Majin Buu Saga enemy, so if we, let's say we are getting like a Vegito for the anniversary, and we get some new blue zone where you fight like Super Vegito, this guy can use his active skill on turn 1. And then he's just going to be absolutely insane. So yeah, these guys look really, really good. Buu Saga is going to be even more cracked than ever before going into the anniversary. So let me know what you guys think. Who do you like more, Goku or Buu? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. But that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.